Again, welcome to tonight's meeting. I would like to welcome each of you to the October the 3rd, 2022 Madison County School Board meeting. At this time, the meeting is called to order. If everyone here would please stand for a moment of silence and then the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome to tonight's meeting. October the 3rd, 2022. The school board meeting is officially called to order. The school board meeting is an advertised meeting held in the public, not a public meeting. We have an established advertised agenda that will be followed. Anyone wishing to address the board may do so during the public input section of the meeting. You will have 3 minutes to address the board. The sign-in sheet to speak during public input is on the table to the left as you enter the boardroom. Please sign in if you wish to speak. Our school board minutes are being recorded this evening by Ms. Bishop, the confidential secretary and secretary of the superintendent. Board members present are Ms. Williamson, Mr. Carroll, Ms. Gibson, Ms. Bell, and myself, Bart Alford. Tommy Reeves, our school board attorney, is also present. The school board meeting is being recorded this evening on YouTube. So for individuals here in the audience, we are being recorded. For amendments to the agenda, item number 5.4, the contract with right of passage is being pulled for tonight's meeting. 5.4, the contract with right of passage is being pulled. There's no other changes to the agenda. At this time, is there any public comments or public input?
Mr. Alford, I have on mine that we have an amendment to the agenda. New campaign.
Okay, it's good. We'll talk about that when we get down there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So does that need to be added to?
Yes, put it down as an action item.
Okay. 2.1, the new campaign by Ms. Raynick is being added to item for individual 5.8. 5.8.
What was the name of that? Because I don't have it on mine.
New campaign.
It's on the,
It's under 2. Under
It's
amendments
on your-
agenda. 2.1 is new
I still don't
campaign.
have it, but that's okay.
Okay, we will go, if there's no public comments, we will go to the consent items of the agenda. Under the consent items, 4.1, the minutes from the September the 12th special meeting and the September the 19th school board meeting 2022 are included. 4.2 are fundraisers. Madison County High School 11th grade class is offering a chance to win a gift basket. It will be offered from Monday, November the 7th to Friday, December the 16th, 2022. That is a fundraiser at Madison County High School for the 11th grade class. 4.3 is the Career and Technical Education Grant. This project is strengthening career and technical education for the 21st century. Act Perkins Rural Innovation Grant is $40,399. 4.4 is a contract with Chem Aqua Treatment for the cooling tower at Madison County High School. The annual cost for this water treatment is $4,328.04. Over 12 months, it's $360.67 per month. And it's for Madison County High School and for the cooling tower. 4.5 is a contract with Bright Days for teen parent childcare. Infants under 12 months is $25 a day. Toddlers 1 year to 2 years is $25. And over 2 years old is $15 a day. And that would be for a contract with Bright Days for the teen parent childcare. 4.6 is a joint use agreement with Boys to Kings. It's for October the 6th, 2022 to Tallahassee, Florida. The estimated cost is $429.57. And that would be our consent items. Is there a motion to approve the consent items?
I move to approve the consent items.
It's been properly moved by Mr. Carroll. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Williamson. Any discussion?
What's the treatment for the cooling? What is that? Cooling tower.
That's something that we have to do to the water tank out there. Specifically, I can't tell you, but that's required.
Is that city water we use out there, or is that?
We have city water at the high school. I'm guessing we have it in high school. We have at the, yes, that is city water. Remember a few months back when they asked for
Easement.
easement,
Yeah.
and so that's city water we have out there.
Okay.
Okay, are there any more questions? If there are no more questions, it's been properly moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Ms. Williamson. All those in favor, show of hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of the consent items. Okay, 5.1, personnel changes, employee recommendation and employee resignation, and out-of-field teachers and approve of sub-teachers. Mr. Killingsworth.
Good evening. This evening I have three names that we'd like to bring before you for instructional recommendations. Two of the three are grant funded. Then we have three that would fall under the substitute area. And then unfortunately we have two that one is due to going to another district, the top one, and the bottom one, of course, is taking a leave of absence right now with some teaching stuff, so she'll be back. And then for the out-of-field teachers, we have a list of those that are, majority of them are ESOL, which they had a kid in there and they just have to get the endorsement, so to speak. But we wanted to list those, and then we have two. The tutors are down at the bottom for, you remember in the afternoon where we bring them into the schools, mainly the central school for Savannah, and then the other one will be the adult version that would be where we infuse that into Pinetta. That I'm asking your approval for this evening.
Okay, are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve the personnel
I'll make the motion
recommendations?
to approve the personnel changes.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Williamson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. Any discussion?
I think I'll just make a comment and say I'm glad that we have our positions filled, so for the most part. Do we have any that aren't filled?
Yes, ma'am. We have a few, I would say, a couple on the elementary side at Central, two on the middle school side. I'm still missing one at the high school. But other than that, we're pretty much, now of course we've had to do a little creative coverage, so to speak, in a couple of them, but we've got basically a handful that we still would love to fill, but as you know, we're probably in and out with that throughout the year.
Well, I
It's
know,
just the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
compared to other districts, we are doing very well, as far as I can tell with that.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we don't have
until
hundreds of
we're
openings and,
100%
you know,
though,
so,
we're not
yeah.
satisfied.
Yeah.
And until we can keep them there.
Yeah.
Of course, then that, of course, helps our kids for the next year because there's some consistency there.
Two of the openings at Central, based upon Ms. Brown's information she sent the board and everybody, I guess, in the district, was due to class size enrollment, increasing, so for a third in pre-K position, so.
Which is a good thing to have.
That's a good thing.
That we're having an increase in that grade level. Okay, are there any other questions concerning the personnel changes? Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Williamson, seconded by Ms. Gibson. All those in favor, show of hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of personnel changes.
Thank you.
Thank you. 5.2, student field trips. The first field trip is the Madison County High School Beta Club. Saturday, November the 19th, we'll be attending Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. They will leave at 6 a.m. and return at 8 p.m. There's 25 students attending and 3 chaperones. The sponsor to go is Ms. Griffin. Ms. Suzanne Griffin will be taking the 25 students. And that is the Madison County High School Beta Club will be attending Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. The second trip is from, again, Madison County High School. The HOSA Club will be attending the Florida State University School of Nursing, October the 24th, 2022. That's 25 students attending with 2 chaperones. Ms. Diane Webb is the sponsor of the group, and she will be taking the students to the School of Nursing. This relates to standards of health science, anatomy and physiology, health science foundation, and allied health assisting 3. So that will be their trip. Is there a motion to approve the 2 student field trips from Madison County High School?
I move to approve the 2 student field trips at Madison County High School.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Gibson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion? Okay, if there's no discussion, all those in favor, show of hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of the student field trips. Okay, 5.3, staff travel. Staff travel. The first travel is the AVID District Leadership Training, which is in Orlando, Florida, October the 11th through the 15th, 2022. This is around $600, and this will come from the general fund, and Rod Williams will be attending. The second staff travel trip is the ACE Conference in Orlando, Florida, October the 17th through the 19th. The funding source for this conference is Workforce, and Travis Jones will be attending. Are there any questions concerning the travel? Staff trip? Okay, if there's none, is there a motion to approve the staff travel?
I move to approve the staff travel.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Mr. Carroll. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. Okay, all those in favor, if there's no questions, show of hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval. 5.4 has been pulled for tonight. 5.5 is the Greenville Elementary School Sustainability Plan to the Department of Education. Ms. Joseph, I guess?
Yes. Okay, this is part of, because of Greenville's BSI, Bureau of School Improvement status, is that they were eligible for TISA funds, which is this plan, and UNICEF. And to get these funds, they had to write up a plan of basically how they were going to use it and how would they sustain it after the funds were gone. And so this addresses that. And this is, I think they received $50 per FTE. $500 per FTE, I'm sorry. It was $500 per FTE. But it's part of their school improvement process, and that is going quite well. We've got several people working with them. We've got PACES coming in. They've lent us a person to mentor the principal. We have Mr. Kisworth mentoring the principal. We have BSI coming in at least once a week. We have Just Read Florida coming in. And we have our district coaches going in, so we are working hand in hand with the population over there.
Okay, are there any questions concerning the plan?
No, I was just saying, this community involvement, I think that's a very interesting, let's say, crucial piece in all this, getting the community involved.
You have to.
And I've attended different things over there, and I can see that they are getting them involved. Not only that school, but all the
Yes.
schools.
For the people in the audience and who may be viewing, I'll read over the 5 assurances that we're assuring that we're going to implement. The eligible schools will implement strategies to establish comprehensive support services that develop family and community partnerships. Assurance 5, the eligible schools will implement strategies to establish clearly defined and measurable high academic and character standards. Number 6, Assurance 6, eligible schools will implement strategies to increase parental involvement and engagement in the child's education. Assurance 7, the eligible schools will implement strategies to identify, recruit, retain, and reward instructional personnel, so keep in our teachers. Assurance 8, the eligible school will implement strategies to provide professional development that focuses on academic rigor, direct instruction, and creating high academic and character standards. Assurance 9, the eligible school will implement strategies to provide focused instruction to improve student academic proficiency, which may include additional instruction time beyond the normal school day or school year. So those are the assurances for the plan. Okay, is there a motion to approve the sustainability plan for Greenville Elementary?
I move to approve the Greenville Elementary School Sustainable Plan.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Gibson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Williamson. Any further discussion? If there's not, all those in favor, show a hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval of the Greenville Elementary School Sustainability Plan. Okay, 5.6, the community appointee to the Value Adjustment Board. Prior to coming tonight, I spoke and asked the individual who served last year, would she be willing to serve this year? And she said she would. So Ms. Margaret Ann Bunch has agreed to do it again. Or Ms. Margaret Ann Smith has agreed to do it again. She is the owner of Smith Abstract and Title here in Madison.
I think we need a vote on it.
You didn't motion.
Yes. So is there a motion to approve Ms. Smith to serve on the Value Adjustment Board?
I'll make the motion to approve Ms. Smith to serve on the Value Adjustment Board.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Williamson to approve Margaret Ann Smith to serve as the business representative on the Value Adjustment Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. Okay, is there any discussion?
I just need to ask, I'm on that board.
You need a board member as well as a community.
I know that. I mean, it's all right for me to vote though. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
Yes. Please.
So it's been properly moved by Ms. Williamson, seconded by Ms. Gibson. All those in favor, show a hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for approval. Okay, 5.7 is homecoming. And
Okay.
unfortunately, it was sidetracked last week, but this week we're having homecoming, Ms. Joseph.
Okay, but what's going on, last week, we did have to make some decisions because when we first got word about Hurricane Ian, it was targeted this direction. And so we do have one of our things about our county, we want to keep our kids safe. And so it was affecting Florida different ways. The team that we were playing did not want to play us for homecoming, even when they turned. And so we needed to change homecoming. One of the things that the high school asked, if we move and not have the homecoming activities last week, could they possibly have next Friday off? And we called you and got permission for that. And right now, I just need an official vote to have this coming Friday off for the students for homecoming. And that would be October 7th. And so I need a vote. It's what Ms. Bishop called you about, and you voted individually, but I just need it for the records that we designate October 7th as a day off for students.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion to approve October the 7th, 2022 as a student holiday?
I'll make the motion to approve October 7th as a student holiday and homecoming for Madison County.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Williamson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion?
I'd like to say something that's been on my mind about this, and I'd like to thank Mrs. Joseph, because I know these decisions are not made lightly, and I know you consult different organizations. And in the back of my mind, I thought, I know hurricanes and tornadoes are unpredictable, but I just felt like, we didn't jump the gun and we didn't close school, and I was happy to see the way it played out, let's put it that way. And I realize that it's a tough decision, and I think you've made a good decision there. And I know it wasn't made without a lot of thought. Thank you.
Okay, so it's properly moved by Ms. Williamson, seconded by Mr. Carroll. All those in favor, show a hand, please. 5 by Ms. Bishop for approval for October the 7th, 2022 being a student holiday and off for homecoming for the students. Okay, 5.8, a new campaign.
Ms. Raynack is going to come
Okay.
and present this.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And Miss Gibson kind of segued me right into where I want to talk about tonight. And I wrote everything down because I might get a little emotional, so I want to make sure I didn't miss any important stuff.
Ms. Raynack is going to get emotional.
Pardon me?
I said Ms. Raynack is going to get emotional.
Oh, yeah. Ben has already told me that I shouldn't let my soft side show, but every once in a while I have to. What I'd like to talk to you about is, and I'm going to get emotional already, as one who has experienced what a hurricane can do with Hurricane Michael in the Panhandle and Gadsden County. I am most grateful that this hurricane did not hit Madison County. My heart and my prayers go out to all of those people because I know they're hurting right now. One thing we learned in Gadsden County about Hurricane Michael was that other districts, big and small, volunteered their time and they volunteered their resources, even if it was simple to help Gadsden County out and help the schools out. And what they did, regardless of the federal money will come. The federal money may be years. It absolutely will be months away, but it will have years away that they'll be dealing with getting a lot of resources to help them. But right now, they're hurting down there in Southwest Florida. The school districts that helped us out in Gadsden County, what they did, Escambia, Madison, Columbia, Hamilton, their administration and their business partners and their principals and their children got together and they adopted a school that was in the path of the hurricane. For us, it was the west side of Gadsden County, which mostly was like Chattahoochee area and Greensboro area. So I would like to suggest that Madison County consider doing something very similar to that and adopt a school. It doesn't matter how big the effort is. The effort that they showed us when we were under the hurricane was so huge, and it wasn't that big a monetary thing, but they collected backpacks and blankets and canned foods and things like that. And they drove over and presented it to us at a board meeting. And it was just outstanding that people would reach so deep into their hearts to do this. Again, I'm sorry. So I'm suggesting, and I've researched some of the schools in Lee County. There are a couple of schools that stuck out in my mind. They're on the edge of all of this water damage. They are lower performing. They're high minority, high poverty schools. Their kids already were starting out the year with challenges, and this is going to be another big challenge because Lee County doesn't even know when they're going to reopen, along with DeSoto and Charlotte and Hardy and I think there's another one, isn't there, Miss
Collier.
Sarasota? All those schools don't even know when they're going to reopen again. So I guess my appeal to you is to allow the district, the board, approve that we start a campaign to at least adopt one school in Lee County to help the students and the families. And again, I'm really sorry, but
No, I think
it hits
would
my
be
heart.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great idea. We just need to, decide which one we're going to do and do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, I know that Pinetta, because I remember giving them backpacks, I don't know if Pinetta adopted the school over there, or if it was the county, or how they did that. All I knew was Pinetta was working hard on that.
Hard on that, yeah.
They worked very hard on that.
They and many other small districts and big districts, Broward sent trucks up to Gadsden County with things. I mean, we had a whole warehouse that just filled with things, which we needed terribly. We lived for weeks and weeks without electricity, and with the National Guard there and with the state and local resources. And the impact that we had in Mexico Beach and Panama City and in Gadsden County was horrible, but the impact that we saw in Lee County with people with boats and palm trees in their homes, it's going to take a long, long time for them to recover. And there are some, one of the schools I researched was Manatee Elementary, but there are other schools, and there are schools that were closer to Fort Myers Beach where the actual impact came in. So I would just suggest that we consider looking at some of the schools and find out which ones we can help. Some of them are not going to be reopened, so we may or may not be able to help them, but maybe we'll be able to help their families.
I guess it would be good to do each school here, maybe do a drive, and then it can be done for the whole district, and then we can compile all, and whatever we get, we could do multiple schools if we were to have.
Yes. We can come out with the specifics of how to later on, but we're asking for permission to even start this campaign. She's suggesting Manatee Elementary School, but after doing further research, we may find a school that we're in more need, and we want to be flexible enough to change schools without having to come back to you. So we really want your blessing on pursuing this project to help a school that's been affected by Hurricane Ian. That's basically what we're looking for.
Okay, is there a motion to approve district establishing a fundraiser means to provide aid to students in South Florida?
I made the motion to approve exactly what you just said.
Okay, it's been properly, a motion has been made by Ms. Bell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Ms. Raynette, when we get to school and stuff, can we get kind of a rough graph list of what type things are needed?
Absolutely. I'll be glad to,
If the schools
work
that are
on
going to
that.
be collecting, they need that, and we need that if we want to give or buy things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I would encourage to reach out to all the schools and all the service organizations and churches in the community that may would want to also give and donate. Because a lot of times people want to do stuff, but they just don't know how or where to go to do it where it benefits people. So that would also be another option where we could reach out to other service clubs here in the community and churches who would be willing to donate.
I think that's a good idea. A lot of people do, and a lot of times people want to know where it's going
Right.
to, rather than just, in other words, a school will benefit from all this, which we're all into that. So I think that's a good idea, just.
Anything would help. And again, I'm going to get emotional because at one of the board meetings, a 4-year-old came with a 6-year-old child with him, and they helped present backpacks to some pre-K children. And it was just heart-wrenching to see that the children were even helping to get support in those areas. Again, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Well, thank you for
It's a
coming.
hard side of me.
Thank you for coming and bringing this to light for us to approve where we can start this. And I think it's a good thing, and I think that the schools will enjoy raising things for people and helping people.
And on a lighter note, the district will have a float in the homecoming parade. So more to come on that.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Bell, seconded by Mr. Carroll. All those in favor, show of hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for the new campaign to provide assistance to schools in Southwest Florida.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, thank you for that, but we want to get your blessing before we went forth, and now we can get down to specifics of what we want to do. We didn't want to get the cart before the horse. Okay, so from now we will we'll contact the superintendent, and we will make specific plans, and we will keep you apprised of our progress.
Thank you.
Okay, that sounds great, Ms. Joseph. Okay, item 6.1, superintendent items.
Okay, Mr. Chair and the board, we was presented with a certificate from the United Way for funds collected for the 2021 school year. We were in the category of $1,000 to $2,499. This is a certificate from United Way for Madison County schools. So we're still doing contributions to United Way every year. Okay, just to give you an update of where we are with the homecoming. Okay, we transitioned, all of the homecoming activities basically for this week. Okay, another reason other than impeding Hurricane Ian, is that during parade we always close down Highway 90. Highway 90 is a state road. Okay, we have to have permission from the state to close that. It's also a thoroughfare, an escape route for people that's moving.
Okay.
And so they were going to close Highway 90 down last week. Okay, we've got permission in, we've got requests in to close Highway 90 down this week. We don't know whether they're going to close it down this week or not, but the show will go on. So we do have alternate plans in for a parade route. So we will have a parade. If it's not on Highway 90, the sheriff, the police department, along with the personnel at the high school, this is a high school activity, it's not a district activity. They will have a parade, and they will just look at your web page, look at your Facebook page, and they'll have the route posted. And so parade and game will go on. Okay, whoever team they're playing this week, that's our homecoming opponent. And Mr. Brooks and Ms. Fletcher, Leslie Fletcher, they will announce who we're playing. You asked for when the principals sent out their weekly updates, it was in a readable format. How is that working?
It's
I can
fine
do
as
it.
long as it's Word. If
Okay,
it's-
so
if it's-
are they, that's what I'm asking, are they sending them to you in Word?
If, for the most part, once or twice, it'll pop up on the business OneDrive, and it's just hard to get in there. But
Okay.
yeah, for the most part, it has been in Word.
Okay, if it's not, let me know and I'll work with them. And while I got the mic, I want to publicly thank the schools. I am a working superintendent. I go to all of these schools, and I must applaud them. We're not perfect, people, we're not perfect. But most of the schools, I know all the schools basically have, as a whole, the discipline under control. Okay, just like anything, you're gonna have some people forget a little thing, but as a whole, the discipline is under control and our schools are clean, and I need to thank the principals for the work they're doing in that area. We are still interested in academics, people. We're high up there, we want academics to follow, so we have not forgotten academics, but you gotta have your discipline under control. And then you've got a clean, safe campus. And I just need to tell the principals, thank you. That's it.
Okay, Mr. Reeves, any attorney items?
No, sir.
Okay, Ms. Williamson?
I just want to thank everybody for all they do and the adaptability that we show when things come up like hurricanes and other things that are beyond our control, and wish all the activities at the high school a very good homecoming.
Okay, Mr. Carroll?
I just want to thank Ms. Joseph. I know she had her hands in it, getting that fence put back up out there at the football field for some safety purposes. It's going to help a whole lot out there after a game, I'm telling you. So I appreciate y'all getting that done. I also appreciate, all the teachers and everything. I appreciate the principals sending that out every week. I get the chance to see what they're going to be doing and what they've done and that sort of thing. So I appreciate that. And also, I wanted to say that my family, and I'm sure most all of you all are too, are praying for those folks down in South Florida, because those pictures was some devastating things to me. So we praying for them, and that's all I got.
Okay, Ms. Gibson?
Yes, I appreciate all the principals sending out the email every week, because I do like to know what's going on in the schools, and hopefully I can participate in a lot of it. I know I touched on this earlier about community involvement, and I just happened to, earlier today, I wrote down a few things that happen. Some of these things happen during the school day, and other things happen at night. So what I'm trying to say is, I thank all the people that have a part in this. Things like donuts for dad, pastries for parents, donuts for grown-ups, PTO, SAC meetings, parent nights for literacy. I mean, the list goes on, and a lot of this is after their day, and they do these things. And basically, it's to gather the parents together and to, and I just think that it's very important for the parents to come to the schools and be a part of what's going on there. And Ms. Rainick, thank you for the campaign. I'm all for it. I think it's a wonderful idea. And I mentioned to my husband about you want to do something, but you're just not sure exactly. And this is the answer to the prayer right there. I mean, why not help the schools? They're going to need it. So thank you very much for that.
Okay, Ms. Bell?
Thank you, Ms. Rainick, for coming up with this idea. It was wonderful, and it's going to help a lot of people that desperately needs it. I also want to say thank you to the administrators and the staff for all y'all hard work. Like always, job well done.
Okay. I would also like to thank the principals for their weekly report, including, a lot of them are including data for student data and also discipline data, which that's real important as a board member, because often we hear things in the streets, so to speak, and by getting this weekly, we are being kept abreast of what's happening with events, with discipline events within the school, where we can at least respond intelligently to it when people ask us concerning it. I too want to thank Ms. Rainick for the idea of coming up with the campaign for this, for the hurricane victims. It's really a good thing. And I want to remember all the schools that are closed, and that would be Charlotte, Hardy, Lee County, and Sarasota that are still closed until further notice, not really knowing when they're going to open. And one of the things that stuck with me during the whole time when Miss Joseph was like having to make the decision, and she's in with emergency management with those discussions, at one of our conferences back at the Florida School Board Association in Tampa, I don't know if it was Miss Messina or who was saying it, that the most critical thing that a district needs to do when you have a major disaster is open back up the school to where you have structure within the county. That's the most critical thing, that at least the kids have structure and the community has structure. And I'm glad we didn't shut down, because our district needs structure, students need structure, and we need to have that structured environment. And but we need to keep safety at utmost. But again, at the end of the day, we have to think about holistically what's best. And again, those days it was the weather turned out to be that it was okay weather for us to be in school, so I'm glad we did it. But that has stuck with me, that one of the first things that a district needs to try to do is reopen the schools within a community when there has been a natural disaster. And hopefully they can do that at those districts I just read out, because again, that's daunting, just looking at the wreckage and not seeing any schools, and you don't know if the schools are damaged like that, like the community is. And again, I want to thank all the teachers and all their hard work. The first round of fasts are in, and we looked at that data at the last meeting, and that's exciting that we're taking more ownership in that and being able to know immediately what the scores are. I want to wish the high school a good homecoming. Look forward to the parade on Friday. Hopefully we'll have great weather. It's cooled off a little, so maybe it'll be nice for the parade and we won't be sweating bullets out there. Maybe it'll be a nice, cool parade. I have nothing else. I encourage everyone to go out to the homecoming game to support the high school this Friday night.
I've got something else.
And Miss Joseph has something else, okay?
Okay, I was speaking with Mr. Carroll earlier. Do we have a vehicle for Friday, Mr. Carroll?
I got to be at that advocacy meeting for Florida School Board in Crystal River Friday, so I won't be able to be
So
here.
we need to discuss, the school
We
board
can-
members need to
We
discuss the
can
vehicle.
discuss getting something.
Okay, I have something else. I need to introduce someone, and this time she's observing only. She doesn't want to say anything. We don't want her away. But one of the things that we talked about is getting back the student government representative from the high school. And so I invited her. I promised her she wouldn't have to say anything this time, but I needed her to know how our way of doing things. And possibly next month, in this month, we will have our quasi-board member from the high school sitting with us. We meet on the first and third Mondays of each month, unless we have a holiday, but these notices are posted ahead of time. And our meetings normally last about an hour. She is a senior at Madison County High School, and her name is Latavia Brown, and she's the class president. Okay. But I will let her formally introduce herself next time, I promise her, and she will be able to stand a distance and take the mask off and talk with us.
Okay, we
Think
look
that's
forward
all.
to having you next meeting. We look forward to having you. Years ago, it's sort of during COVID and even maybe prior to that, the representatives just stopped coming, but we do look forward to having you at the next meeting. And for several years there, we did have someone who would come representing the high school, and that was good to have. So we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
Thank
This is
you.
my first time experiencing it, but I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, we did that. We've done that for,
Several-
actually,
several years.
one of
They-
our former board students is now in nurse practitioner school at
the issue.
Yeah, and she's a
She was there when I was on
adjunct at North Florida
Yes, she
and
is.
works at the hospital ER. So it is exciting to see people go on and do great things. And I see you're a cheerleader, so we can go Friday night and watch her cheer. She's a cheerleader on the varsity squad, so that's exciting. But we look forward to seeing you next meeting. Okay? You don't really have to say anything if you don't want to. We're not going to
Not
put you
this
on.
time, but next time you will formally introduce yourself.
Okay, well, again, is that all, Ms. Joseph?
That's it.
Okay, at this time, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Ms. Bell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. All those in favor, show a hand, please. 5-0, Ms. Bishop, for adjournment.